Welcome to Talk Wrestling here on NoDQ.com and of course NoDQ's official YouTube channel, Aaron Ref NoDQ. Thank you all for, again, I say this every time I make a comeback after a while, the patience and not having Talk Wrestling. To be honest with you, I was trying to focus on taping the Wrestling Trivia Challenge, and yes, I am no longer the champion. Greg Cherry has been the champion for a little bit now. Much props to him, but October is coming. Keep that in mind. As you saw at the top of the show, today's show is dedicated to, of course, the brain, Bobby Heenan. We did a tribute show on NoDQ on the NoDQ channel with myself and Virtue and Aaron, of course. But I really wanted to say once again how much Bobby meant to me, to NoDQ, and to all of us. Bobby Heenan, along with Rob Van Dam, really put our media existence on the map. His interviews with us, interviews with Rob, of course, really put us out there in the limelight, so to speak, as far as getting people's attention and say, hey, these guys are players, and we should be on their show. So hopefully, people remember Bobby for everything that he contributed to the business. The greatest manager of all time, arguably, and I don't think there's no argument for me, the greatest color commentator, the analyst of all time, certainly the original broadcast journalist, and Bobby, Godspeed. Today's questions are right here on the handy-dandy iPad, or tablet, if you will. It's a Galaxy, so it's not really an iPad, it's a Galaxy. But let's get to it. I have two from Instagram from Jinner, I believe his name, or Ginner89. He's a multi-time contributor. We talk all the time on Instagram. He's a great fan, great friend. So thank you, Ginner89. His first question is, boom, right out of the box. What is the greatest WWE match of all time? And that narrows it down to, the last, whatever it's been, 50-something years since WWE started. Honestly, my favorite WWE match, I don't know if it's the greatest of all time, but my favorite WWE match ever is, no, that's not my favorite. The greatest WWE match that I've seen, which is on the WWE Network, of course, for only $9.99, there you go, Vince, is Ricky Steamboat versus Randy Savage. I know I've criticized that match as far as not being called in the ring and not being called, on the fly, being rehearsed. But you know what? It does not take away, and I've had this pointed out to me, it does not take away from the impact that match had on future generations, on everybody that saw that match, including guys like Chris Jericho and Seth Rollins, I believe, mentioned it as a source of inspiration. But everybody that came after that match looks to that match for the inspiration to be in the WWE. So I think that match is probably the greatest WWE match of all time, with 1A right there being Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 25. Another one from Jenner. If you were a wrestler in the Golden Era, who would you team with, feud with, have as your manager, and have call your match? Well, first of all, I had Bobby. I'd have Bobby as my manager. There's no question about that. Bobby Heenan, as I mentioned at the top of the show, is the greatest manager of all time. He'd be my manager. That means I'm in the Heenan family. So I would have as my partner, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig. Who would we feud with? Babyface tag team against the Heenan family. Let's go with the Hart Foundation. I like that. And as far as who I have a call, it's got to be Gorilla and Jesse, because Bobby's going to be ringside with me, so Gorilla and Jesse call the match. Campbell Scott 125 asks, how do you feel about the direction WWE is going with Enzo Amore and Kurt Hawkins? Kurt Hawkins is a big waste of talent. He's not a waste. His talent is being wasted. Kurt Hawkins is a very talented individual. He's got great upside. He's been there before. He had a great run with Zack Ryder as the Edgeheads. Of course, Edge's lackeys in the family, the Familia, if you will, La Familia. But I don't see where they're going with him now. I don't understand what they're trying to accomplish with Kurt now, other than jobber fill, which is fine. But again, do you really need somebody like that, or do you want caliber superstars when it's caliber super? I mean, I guess you need certain people to do the job, if you will, to have talent get over. But Kurt keeps losing and losing and losing, and it's like, okay, I can't get invested in this guy. So why do I want to watch him on my shows on Raw or SmackDown, whatever show he's on? I think he's on Raw. Why do I want to watch him on Raw if he's just going to lose every week? Why do I care that Roman Reigns is beating him? He's going to beat him. It's a given. Roman's going to beat this guy, or John's going to beat this guy, or somebody's going to beat this guy because he loses all the time. There's no emotional attachment. There's no investment on my end to be into Kurt Hawkins. As far as Enzo Amore, I've made no bones about the fact that I do not like Enzo's character. I don't like Enzo and the way he was, just pushed to the moon, down our throats, whatever you want to call it, over the last year and a half. I love that Cass dropped him like a bad habit. I wish Cass hadn't got hurt, because the only way they can save Enzo at this point is if they full on turn him cocky heel. He's already cocky enough, but if they turn him cocky heel, it all depends what happens Sunday. If he wins the championship from Neville Sunday and somehow evolves the character enough to where it's more entertaining. He's entertaining. My dad loves the guy, but I don't like the character. I don't think it's a good character. They've got to do something to tweak it. Hopefully we'll see what happens Sunday with Neville at No Mercy. Rick Morrill 21, and also somebody else had a question about her. Steven Jensen, so I'll ask both of those. Rick Morrow asked, when Asuka debuts on the main roster, how long should she stay undefeated? And Steven Jensen from Fight Talk, which you can catch on, what's Fight Talk on? It's on Twitter, at Fight Talk _. Check out, I'm on the show quite a bit, and it's a great podcast about UFC and WWE, of course. So check it out. Steve Jensen asks, who do you want to see Asuka feud with first on Raw? Do you have faith that she will be booked correctly on the main roster? That's his quote, not mine. I think Asuka should remain undefeated for quite a while. I think that they have a really good situation on their hands, that she never lost a match. And she retired as champion. Not retired. She vacated the NXT Women's Championship undefeated. They have the potential to really take her onto Raw and just straight up to the moon with her. I think she'd be a great, great, great opponent for the Raw Women's Champion right now, which, of course, is Alexa Bliss, and but they have a match at No Mercy as well, and there's talk that Nia Jax is going to be the one to walk out of No Mercy as champion. How about a rematch from NXT between Asuka and Nia Jax for the Raw Women's Championship? Just saying, could happen. So I'd like to see Asuka remain undefeated and go right after the Women's Championship. If it's Alexa, fine. If it's Nia, even better. Kyle Mach, Interstate Kyle. No DQ contributor. Love the guy. We're going to see him actually tomorrow night, Saturday night, for a little din-din. It's going to be a good time. Who are your favorite people to work with on No DQ, past or present? Loaded question. I've actually enjoyed everybody I've worked with on No DQ in some form or another. There's been turbulent times with everybody, no question about that. But, the only guy that I really haven't had any, I had a beef with a few people, but the guy that has stood out, of course, is the boss man, Aaron Rift. He's the creator. He's the webmaster. He's the owner. He's the one that put my co-host and I together for Extreme Mayhem and for XMV and let me branch out with this show for the last 10 years plus now, and allowed me to walk away and come back, which I think defines his character. He allowed me to walk away, very, very nasty walk away, by the way. I was a terrible person when I walked away from No DQ, and the way I left was complete BS. And here I am. I'm back. I've been back for 3 years. We came back with RVD, so there you go. It was an awesome comeback, and I've been loving every minute of being back. I took a hiatus again, and I was lambasted for that, rightfully so, by the way. But I've enjoyed everybody. I love the guys we have now, Virtue and Interstate Kyle, and yes, even David Payne. I'm glad he's back. There's controversy there, and as Eric Bischoff always said, controversy creates cash. So stay tuned to Pop, the Pop panel, of course. Oh, it's going to be just Pop. I know we're going to do a panel or not with Dave, but stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for the No DQ panel. And, of course, Talk Wrestling. And, of course, the pay-per-view predictions and recaps. No DQ is going, and No DQ video's back. Aaron Rift, he lasted a lot. His hiatus was shorter than my hiatus. Are you kidding me? But No DQ video's back, so check that out. Everybody on No DQ is a joy to work with. I enjoy every single minute of it. Ricky Lawson. There's a rumor next year WWE are planning a tag team tournament similar to the Mae Young Classic and the Cruiserweight Classic. Who would you like to see participate? Young Bucks. Please. Young Bucks, WWE stage. Holy crap. Win the thing. They don't have to sign him. Not yet. But can you imagine the Young Bucks with Kenny Omega in their corner winning that tournament? Holy crap. Holy crap. That'd be awesome. I would love that. Time will tell. Let's see. Let me do one more here, then I'll do my cheap plugs. Lord of Rings 234 at Hey 313-262-244. That's a lot of numbers and letters. Why does WWE get rid of the Money in the Bank and have the Intercontinental Championship as a cash-in for the Heavyweight Championship? Money in the Bank draws intrigue. Money in the Bank has that element of anywhere, anytime it can happen. Winning the Money in the Bank briefcase holder. Contract holder. Sorry, Mr. McMahon. There's added suspense. You don't know when the contract's going to come down that aisle with the contract holder in hand. You never know. The Intercontinental Championship and the U.S. Championship are, by definition, the number one contenders to the Heavyweight and the Universal Championships. But that rule or whatever has not been really a thing since the 90s, and even before that. I mean, Lex Luger as U.S. champion and constantly got shots at the world champion Ric Flair and came up short the entire time until Flair left WCW, and then Luger ascended the throne, of course. I'd like to see the Intercontinental Champion and the U.S. Champion get more opportunities at the WWE and Universal Championships, but with the Money in the Bank, with all the storylines I got going on, you know, it would be a nice change of pace to have the top mid-card champion face the top world champion on any given pay-per-view. Let that guy say, hey, I've been carrying Miz. My goodness, Miz, as crazy as he is and as brazen as he is, and going to Brock Lesnar, I've been carrying this show while you've been gone, you know, up in your farm in Canada, you know, milking cows and whatnot. Let Brock beat him up, but then Miz gives Brock a run for his money. Or if Strowman wins Sunday, then there you go. But I'd like to see Miz really get some chutzpah more than he already has and challenge the Universal Championship. It'd be cool to see. All right. So let me put the tablet down. Put the stylus down. This Sunday, of course, is No Mercy on the WWE Network. And I think it's on pay-per-view, but I'm not really sure. I don't watch pay-per-view anymore, so I don't know. I will not be watching No Mercy because I will be traveling from Hooters of downtown Los Angeles up to Hollywood and Highland, hopefully. But downtown Los Angeles Hooters, across the street from Staples Center at 2 o'clock. See that? 2 o'clock. Aaron Rift and myself, along with Interstate Kyle, will be there. We're hosting a pre-No Mercy little meet and greet, if you will. Come enjoy the really bad food for you. Come enjoy the... probably not happy hour drinks, but, you know, ice-cold beverages. And have some fun with Aaron and I. Talk about the No Mercy. Talk about this show. Talk about No DQ in general. Talk about what you want to see at No Mercy. What you want to see from us on NoDQ.com in the coming weeks and months. And, yes, you can console me over the loss of my championship, because Lord knows it's been a rough few weeks without my precious, if you will. But, again, October is coming. After the No Mercy meetup, prior to the pay-per-view itself, I'm hoping, see the fingers crossed, I'll be heading to Hollywood and Highland to join up with Booker T, Rob Van Dam, Goldust, I don't know about Kurt Angle, I'm not sure about that, and Corey Graves, the voice of Raw and SmackDown, for a live broadcast of Heated Conversations up at Lucky Strike. That's at Hollywood and Highland. Go to their website or go to Booker T's Twitter for more information. And hopefully I'll see you guys there. If not, we will see you next time on Talk Wrestling.